Hey everyone, welcome to another exciting, award-winning Sheboygan Police Department Roll Call podcast. This is, again, as always, steering the ship, Officer Matthew Friedel. Sitting to my left, assisting me as usual, my Robin to Batman, Officer Tim Anholt.
Good morning.
It's also 4:13 in the afternoon, so good morning is inappropriate. So
depending on when you're listening, I guess.
That's true. Very good. Sitting across from me is Officer Jason Pacey. He is with the Sheboygan Police Department. He actually was my trainer when I was a recruit or rookie for the Sheboygan Police Department. Jason's going to be talking to us about dogs, cats, licensing, animal bites. Any questions? I know earlier we had some requests to do a podcast about this very topic. It's pretty much pet information for the Sheboygan Police Department. Jason, thanks for coming.
Welcome to be here, guys.
So Jason is the Sheboygan Police Department, one of the Sheboygan Police Department humane officers. Jason, why don't you explain a little bit about what that means?
Well, humane officers within the state of Wisconsin are either civilians or officers. In this case, obviously, I'm a sworn officer with the city. Been through the state of Wisconsin's training for humane officers and certified as such. Pretty much, humane officers investigate animal neglect, abuse, and the local ordinances, state laws.
Nice. And you're the go-to guy for if we have an animal at large, he needs to be
Captured.
Captured would be a better term.
Yeah, I've also been trained through the state or actually internationally here, for chemical capture involving animals, which results in tranquilizing of animals. Additional training has also been conducted with the state on capturing animals.
Nice.
That's more in the extreme cases, all correct?
Correct. Yeah, your animals running at large that have either attacked or bitten someone or are causing a threat to the community.
So like if Tim's pet rabbit got out, started terrorizing the neighborhood, we would be darting it?
No, that would be more than likely a capture pole would be used at that time.
See, there you go, Tim. Sleep easy.
I could. Yeah. I don't have any rabbits, but okay.
All right, Jason, let's explain a little bit about license fees for dogs, cats.
Okay, the standard license fee for a dog, obviously after the age of 5 months of the dog, they need to be licensed through the city of Sheboygan. Mm-hmm. The city license for a neutered or spayed dog is $10. For unneutered or unspayed, obviously it's $15.
Which is yearly.
Correct. Annually, after the beginning of the first of the year, right, dogs and cats within the city should be licensed. After April 1st, the department's policy is that we will issue a citation immediately for any unlicensed animal.
And I think that's great to touch on. I mean, it's the Sheboygan Police Department policy. It's zero tolerance.
After April 1st, yes.
Right.
Jason, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but with that, let's say I get a dog today, because it's May 13th for us.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, I'm just saying I get a dog today.
Did. Okay.
It's after 5 months of age. Is there a grace period in there where I have 5 days, 10 days, or it has to be licensed that day?
Well, obviously, we're going to use some discretion on that. Within a period of time, you need to obviously get it licensed.
So what about cats?
Cats are neutered or spayed cats. The fee is $5.25.
Oh, that's a bargain.
And unspayed or unneutered, obviously, is $12.25. And cats have to be 13 months of age prior to.
Okay.
With what Tim said earlier, the ownership, 30 days of ownership, after 30 days of ownership, the animal needs to be licensed. So you have a grace period of 30 days.
Gotcha. Awesome.
Okay, and if Tim did get a dog and he'd like to get it licensed, where is he buying these licenses nowadays?
The City of Sheboygan Police Department maintains the licensing for animals, and animals may also be licensed through the Humane Society.
Okay. And if you have any other questions about any other animals that you would like to get licensed, contact the Sheboygan Police Department, give you all that information you need. We can't really get into
Correct.
pretty much every. So what would happen if after April 1st I'm like, run behind, I gotta get the dog, is there, or cat, license?
Normally, anytime between January 1st and March 31st, officers are going to issue a warning. After April 1st, there will be a $5 additional fee that's associated with licensing.
Sure. And let's change gears a little bit. We're going to talk about animal fancier permits, or the pet fancier permit, which is...
Does that allow them to have like tutus? And
I believe it's
tuxes?
including bows. We'll have to ask Jason Pacey. What's the deal with this fancier permit?
Anytime anyone owns more than three or more domestic animals within the city, a special permit needs to be obtained. It's a $3 permit allowing people to own more than three or more animals.
Sure.
I know I'm getting picky here. Is it 3 or more of any animal?
Three or
is it
more.
specific, like, 3 dogs. You can have 2 dogs and 2 cats, or because you have 4 there, you have to have the fanciers.
Yes. If you have more than 3.
So that permit starts on January 1st and expires December 31st, so you have to get that every year.
As well as licensing, yes.
As well as licensing. But it's only $3 to get this fancier permit. It's not like an exorbitant fee. People, if you are going to have 3 pets anyways, $3 is a drop in a hat to have the permit to have them anyways.
Correct.
I would think. So now our animals are all licensed. We got our pet fancier permit. We're ready to hit the town. Let's talk about restraints while walking them on premises, be it dogs or cats. I don't see many people walking cats, but I'm sure you can.
Could happen.
What's the ruling, Jason, for restraints on premises? What do they have to have?
On premises, they'd have to have either a tie out no longer than 15 feet in length.
Okay.
And obviously it needs to be kept in an area where the animal can't harm itself.
Right.
Or it has to be under voice command or voice control, the trained animal that responds to your voice.
And that person has to be physically present if you're going to have it off leash, that person has to be on scene.
Yes.
And of course, if it is off leash and you have an enclosed yard with an appropriately heighted wall or fence, you can have them just free willy, but they have to stay in the yard because, again, there are consequences and we see it, and it's more so for the public safety of animals at large. An animal is an animal. Everyone's, you could have the friendliest dog in the world, and you can explain that to people when your dog's running around the city. But, to me, if I'm walking with my daughter or my son and I see a dog running up to me, I'm freaked out. It may be the friendliest dog, but it also could be the meanest dog. But now, so if I'm just taking my dog for a walk, what do I have to do? Or cats?
Bird.
Well, they have to be wearing a collar with the animal license attached.
Okay.
The animal must also be restrained by a leash, not a chain of any type. The animal leash cannot be longer than 8 feet in length unless it's a retractable leash that may not exceed 15 feet in length.
Nice. And so now let's get right back into, I'm on the boat with my dog. What are the rules with pets in parks? All right, let's just get it out of the way. I'm going to keep saying dogs for the sake of this argument, or this conversation. You can walk cats. I'm just saying let's just go with dogs, because I'm sick of having to add in cats and birds and goats. So walking, let's say designated off-leash areas. Where are those? What are those? What are we talking about when we say off-leash?
All pets are prohibited in any park, beach, or other public grounds except a designated area. The designated areas within the city are Lakeview Beach area, city-owned property located on the east of Lakeshore, which is County Road LS near the Pigeon River area, and the city of Sheboygan Dog Park, the fenced-in area on South 18th Street.
Okay. But there's rules for those parks as well.
Right. The animal must respond to voice commands, and the person must be present when it's off leash.
Okay. And again, as Tim and I talked last podcast, pick up your poop.
Yep.
I think we hit on that
I agree.
ad nauseum for roughly 45 minutes about dog poop.
I don't think it was that long, but it was pretty long.
Felt like it. I'm sure everyone in the audience agrees it felt like that.
And I believe that was our highest rated one.
So, Jason, where else can people walk their dogs on leash?
Well, one of the issues that we come upon through the hot months in the summer, there's a lot of people that want to walk their dogs down by the lakefront. The designated on-leash areas within the city are Lakeview Park, North Point Park, which is from the northernmost jetty.
Sure.
North, you can have your dog in the water or animal in the water, or on the beach or area down there.
Sure.
North Point Overlook, which is just north of North Point Park. The city-owned property on Greenwing Drive, where the retention ponds are. The city-owned green space located on Fisherman's Creek on the south side.
Oh, yeah.
And the city urban recreational trails along the Kiwanis Park, the Taylor Park.
Is that new bike trail that they just put in,
yes.
which is really nice?
The North Point Park, North Point Overlook, and Bullworth Park again.
Okay. And again, though, while you're in these areas, your animal's wearing a collar with a license and rabies tag attached and the length of the chain. It all has to be in regulation while you're walking them.
Yes, they have to be restrained.
All right, so let's change gears. We'll talk about noise disturbances with your animal. Jason, what's some guidelines for noise disturbances?
Well, they're pretty much standard for any type of noise disturbances. Any animal that causes a loud or continuous noise which disturbs the comfort of others and it's within its vicinity shall be considered an offense against the public peace and quiet.
And it's no different than what we touched on before, like the noise disturbance of your radio or having a bonfire at night. It's just common sense type of stuff where, I know we all work different shifts. You may come home at 11, and that's your end of the night and you live alone, but, other people have to work in the morning. So your dog outside barking, while it may not disturb you because you're awake, it's just going to disturb it, especially in the summertime with the windows open. It's just going to be, the noise volume is just going to increase. And, it comes down to just common sense and respecting your neighborhood.
With that, Matt, I think the important thing is, though, is dogs bark. They're
Right.
going to bark. It's that fact of being loud and continuous that makes it
Right.
annoying or disturbing the peace aspect of it. So.
And as a pet owner, you should recognize if you start hearing your dog barking, just bring them inside.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And so we're going to go right into pet care as well. We're not really going to talk about animal feces again because we've talked about it enough. Pick up your poop. That's pretty much the bottom line. But let's talk about sanitary standards and your sanity standards. Let's talk about what we should do to keep as a pet owner, what are the rules that they're supposed to be following in order to have a pet?
Well, obviously, it's a touchy situation there.
Right.
The healthy conditions of an animal must be immediately and appropriately addressed. Say you have a sick animal, just like a child or anything like that.
Right.
Get it to a doctor. Get it seen. If you're failing to do so, that'd be failure to provide adequate care to your animal.
Right. We see this a lot in the summertime, where people let their dogs outside. They may be on the appropriate length leash or tie down, but, if it's summertime and they're baking under the sun and they've got no shelter to take refuge in, you're going to be dealing with
Correct.
consequences.
Well, it could be the same for winter time.
Right, absolutely.
State statutes govern the failure to provide adequate food, water, shelter.
Right.
The sanitary conditions, especially during those summer months, you need to make sure your dog's hydrated.
Right.
If you're going to have it tied out or anything like that, it needs to be able to get out of the wind, rain, weather conditions, and have water available to it.
Right.
The same would go for the wintertime.
And, again, if you're looking to get a pet, this is like Jason alluded to, it's like a child. I mean, this is your responsibility. You need to be taking care of this animal. You certainly will be, taken care of by us if we see some type of neglect going on, because, again, this is an animal. You should be taking care of it.
I agree 100%, man. The problem during the summertime that we notice a lot is people that fail to pick up their dog feces.
Right.
Getting back to your poop comment before,
Right.
I know you don't really want to go too deep on that, but the offensive odor
Right.
or the potential of rodent problems within a yard needs to also be addressed. Again, pick up your poop immediately.
Right. And, talking about mistreatment of animals, if the police department does see something like this, we will act upon, like an animal. And, I've personally been a part of it, where there's a dog outside in the sun. We will call the Humane Society. We will transport the animal to the Humane Society. It's going to be given shelter and medical attention at the cost of the owner anyways.
Exactly. It'll all be incorporated within a citation you might receive as restitution.
Right.
The biggest part for animal neglect or issues that we come upon are the people that leave their animals within a locked car,
Right.
without adequate ventilation during the summer months.
Right.
The inclement weather during the winter and say raining time,
Sure.
rainy weather. The unhealthiness of that to an animal
Right.
would be just the same as to a human.
Right. I mean, some animals, obviously dogs are built for winter weather, but, that can't be applied to a Chihuahua out in the winter weather.
Unless it's wearing a coat.
Unless it's wearing a coat and some dapper boots. It's covered in my fancy.